Interstellar is a 2014 space odyssey sci-fi directed by Christopher Nolan. While the movie is not universally, but mostly praised by critics, the audience is in love with a space epic that introduces a lot of interesting concepts on screen. Mr. Feature would like to take you on a small journey of our own and talk about 7 interesting interstellar facts, both off and on screen. One of the first and most engaging emotional scenes in the movie is the cornfield chase. Cooper and his kids are going after an old-era drone, trying to hack their way into it, all whilst driving through the corn jungle. This scene has marvelous visuals, all thanks to Nolan's commitment to practical effects. Not only this scene was filmed in a real cornfield, without any CGI touches, this was an artificially grown corn. The team behind the production grew over 500 acres, which in non-retarded units is a whopping 2 kilometers squared. Nolan learned that this was more than manageable during his production works on Man of Steel. Now, I wish I could say that none of the corn was harmed during the filming, but they actually burned most of it for later scenes in the movie. Talking about Man of Steel, the crew of Endurance had to navigate to the other galaxy's habitable worlds via the wormhole that was opened up by someone right next to Saturn. If you pay close attention, you can spot in this scene that the location of the wormhole is almost in the same position as the one in Man of Steel, where the pod with baby Kal-El emerges out of warp speed. Well, it's hard to see that the location matches exactly, but still, it being right next to Saturn is probably not a coincidence, since Nolan was involved with both productions. Since we all love cryptology and reading into things too much, here are a couple of treats for you. All the amusing and helpful robots in the movie bear a name that is in fact an anagram, meaning the letters of their names can be rearranged to make other meaningful words. TARS is an anagram for star. Kip is an anagram for Kip, which is a nod to Kip Thorne, who had a monumental influence on the movie and the physics in it, as well as being the author of the book on which the movie is based. Notice that one P is extra in Kip, which, if added to K's, can be formed into space. Obviously, all 3 words are related to the movie's theme of space travel. Kip Thorne is an astrophysicist. In 2006, Hollywood producer Linda Obst and before mentioned Kip Thorne came up with an idea of making a big-budget sci-fi movie in a vein of Zemeckis' Contact. Initial talks took place with none other than Steven Spielberg himself. While the interest was mutual, Spielberg never got to sit in director's chair. No one is sure why, but the DNA of the initial draft that Spielberg came up with is all over the final product. Namely, the concept of a small crew surviving in a post-apocalyptic world, being sent to another galaxy to find key to saving dying Earth. Spielberg's ideas of aliens, Chinese colonizers and massive space stations were at the forefront of the movie as well, but for better or worse didn't make it to the final version of the film. Cooper's first name is actually never spoken in the whole movie. Perhaps his last name could bear some significance, but the etymology behind it is quite bland. A person who fixes barrels and vessels alike. Make what you will of it. Interstellar won 1 Academy Award for Best Achievement in Visual Effects. And there is a good reason for that. Almost no green screens were used in the production of this film. Instead, a preliminary rendering of what the audience would see was projected outside of the physical built spaceship. All so that the actors could react off of something that was more tangible and external, rather than draw inspiration from their own fantasies. Not only this would make it easier for actors to deliver the scene, but make it more realistic for the final visual piece overall. The visual effects were stunning indeed. In fact, many world-renowned scientists, including Neil deGrasse Tyson, have stated that the depiction of black hole in the movie is the most accurate one to date. In fact, later on, when the first actual photo of a black hole was unveiled, it looked remarkably similar to the one portrayed in Interstellar. As a result of such complex imaging, some frames took over 100 hours to fully render. In fact, a CG supervisor over the movie, Eugenie von Tankselman, said it took 100 hours per frame due to the computation overtaxed by the bendy bits of distortion caused by an Einsteinian effect called gravitational lensing. In the end, the movie brushed up against 800 terabytes of data. I thought we might cross the petabyte threshold on this one. 800 terabytes of data. That's 800,000 gigabytes, which is 800 million megabytes. That's over 567 millions of copies of a Goat Simulator game. Of course, all of this hard work paid off, and hence the Academy Award. Many thanks for watching this video, and I do hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments which other things about Interstellar you find interesting. Also let me know which other movies you would like to learn interesting facts about. Please make sure to support the channel if you like the content by clicking the like and subscribe button. More similar content to come. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.